Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we're helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the amazing expert co-authors of a new book that we have coming out. This one is called High Vibrational Wellness: Intuitive Healing Therapies to Nourish Your Body Temple. Lainey Savante Wolkin is the lead author of this amazing collaboration. And before I introduce these authors to you today, it's a big thank you to Lainey for her mission and her vision, bringing this stellar cast of experts together to talk about a pretty fun topic, y'all. How it is and what it means to live in a higher vibration in all ways: mind, body, soul, spirit, and the kitchen table, as Hannah will tell you. We can't wait. We cannot wait to talk about this. And I just have so much gratitude for Lainey to just that we're here together today to do this. Hannah McKittrick, speaking of Hannah, is the CEO of My Intuitive Health, where she combines cooking with energy work and retreats to help others have so much fun with healthy food. Carrie Bozick is from Carrie Connects, and she's trained as a certified level 1 and 2 intuitive food therapist using the Food Healing Oracle deck to make food fun again. TLC is an expert in color mastery and the founder of Quantum Balance Crystals. She guides clients in feeling their own energy and raising their vibration through color frequencies and crystals. And we've got Brandon Russ with us. He is a certified medium, sound healer, astrologer, life coach, and author. Oh my gosh, wait till you meet these amazing people. Hannah, you're going to start the party off. Tell us about your amazing chapter.
Oh my gosh, thank you. So my chapter is called The Secret Ingredient in the Kitchen is Energy. And it's all about teaching the reader how to unlock a magnetic vibrancy in the kitchen without a diet. And I'm super passionate for people to read this because I've found in so many different thought modules out there, like there's always something missing, right? Diets are so physical oriented sometimes that it completely negates your mind and your soul. And we're 5D beings and diets are so 3D. And so what readers will gain from this is exploring another way of eating and another way of being, especially in the kitchen, that helps to transcend diets and tap them into higher vibrations around food. And I do that by combining the needs of the mind and of the body and of the soul and guiding people in to create their own intuitive health blueprint through a 5-step process from that.
So since I met you and learned a little bit more about what you're doing in the kitchen with people, and I know a couple people who have been on retreat with you, it's been so much fun to hear about those experiences. I think the thing that struck me the most was you're having fun. Like, it doesn't matter what you're cooking, you're having a good time. And that's already like, it gives me the goosebumps of high vibes, right? So many of us, I think, or at least I've heard stories, we've just lost that fun piece. It's a chore. We walk into the kitchen tired and hungry. And that, so what else? What is the most important piece about that you want people to know?
Absolutely. So everything is energy, right? And so my mission in life is to help, obviously I love food and food is my vessel and my language in which I speak to people, but my underlying goal is to help people have some freaking fun because life is too short to be in your head and be so serious all day. And so it's particularly important with food, and it can help to speed up the process of embodying fun because food is energy and it carries a vibration. And so the energy in which you're preparing your food gets digested into your body. And so that's kind of a big deal, right? And something that you want to maximize. If you want to radiate more fun, have fun in the kitchen while you're cooking your food, and then that gets digested into your body and omits out of your aura. And so I really find that the best way to do this is through an embodied experience in the kitchen, right? It's not someone just teaching you step 1, step 2, step 3. It's you experiencing it for yourself, either on retreat or in the kitchen, so that you can embed fun into your being and have the food as a little assistant carrying that frequency through your body.
Yeah, what you said earlier, it's kind of a big deal. Like, I think we're ignoring some of that. Hannah, thank you for saying yes to this project and for being here today.
Thank you.
Carrie, tell us about your chapter.
Hi, well, thank you very much for doing this. And this has been an amazing thing to be a part of. My chapter is about intentional, intuitive consumption, making food fun again. It really kind of piggybacks off of Hannah, it's and making it healthy again. To be intentional with our food would just mean to be present with it. Get rid of those screens while you're eating. So many of us eat for social things or boredom or instant gratification, and we're at the mercy of our fork. And food is looked at almost like a prison. Yes, you need it to nourish yourselves. And so many of us have a bad relationship with it because it was either used as a reward or a punishment or self punishment. For myself, using the Food Healing Oracle deck, I found a way to really make it fun and learn how my food is talking to me. Um, I had a great experience with the interpretation of the cards and doing readings for others and seeing how not only I could connect myself, but others to their intuitiveness and listening to your body talk to you about how certain foods are making you feel while you're eating, after you eat. So when you walk into the kitchen, it should be a fun, creative, nourishing place, not a place for doom and gloom.
That is for sure. Oh my gosh, the decks are so fun. That card deck, you guys. So like, understanding that there's reasons you're craving something. And I was talking to Savante yesterday in her interview about this, and just tying these pieces together: the chakra system, the colors, the meanings. Right? What else do you want people to know about those connections? Why is that important?
Because there's more, there's something to learn in everything. It's not just like an oracle deck, like an angel card that yes, you can use them for that. I use them to make recipes, or if I tend to be craving something, well, what's the message behind it? Because there's been some amazing things channeled into medicinal properties into these decks. And when I fell in love with them, I fell in love with food again, and I fell in love with myself. I have been able to reverse a lot of my weight, my inflammation. So I became healthy and had a good time doing it. And anybody can do it. And they can be more serious, and you can really get, really dialed in and focused. But the idea is if you lead with fun, the rest just tends to follow.
And I love the connections are fun for me. There was an artichoke craving we were talking about, and the artichokes were about forgiveness. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I need to know more about this. Right. And it was just fun to know the info. Carrie,
And
thank you.
the aha moments never get old. So
No,
it's great.
that is exactly right. They don't get old.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and sharing about this today. All right, Tammy, do we have you there? I see you're off of your video again, but come back to us. Tell us about your amazing chapter. You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, hello, hi, I'm TLC, and my chapter 25 is Find Your Balance in a Colorful Recipe for Your Soul. So I know I love hearing you guys all about food is medicine, and I want to step deeper because I know it's all energy. So I was like, if it's all energy, what are these chakra centers? And I started connecting to the energy portals chakras, but I call them energy portals or energy centers. And when I started connecting and tuning in, I was downloaded a lot of color information. And so I started channeling the 12 universal color frequencies. So I came in talking the color language. So I'm bringing the color into the kitchen with the food eat an orange, it's juicy. Orange is relationships and trust, creativity and joy. So you can take colors and put them on what the food you're eating too. And any of this is going to raise your vibration. Now, joy is like the highest vibration we want to feel. And that's our sacral chakra. That's the orange portal. And so it's just all about bringing in the color to your life anyway. So when I had my spiritual awakening, I needed something really simple. And colors, they connect you to your inner child so much. Crayons, your kids. And I just really got passionate about sharing colors and color information to the world. And so like yellow is I could do it. And if you need more courage, you wear yellow, and that's your solar plex chakra. And so that's how I started connecting and healing
Welcome to
myself
my
through colors.
walls.
Yellow.
And you're making me look around at everyone's like color today, like what we're wearing, all the awesome colors we're wearing. This is another connection I love so much. This is fun to me, and bringing it into all aspects of the paint you use in your home, the stuff you wear on yourself, what you're literally looking at in all of the rooms you spend the most time in, right? Like what do you want people to know in terms of maybe a simple thing they could shift that would have a big impact?
Okay. So color therapy is like, what colors do you never wear? Wear those colors. And you start like, I was always wearing blue. I never wore red or orange. And when I started wearing red and orange, I started feeling more grounded. And I actually drew to me the relationship I have today that is really healthy for me, because orange is relationships. So change it up, wear a different color, and just dress differently. Yeah, different color. Or like you said, paint your walls a color you would never paint for, because usually the colors that you're avoiding is the one you need the most. So say you always are resonating with blue, well, that's the throat chakra. So that you might be really good at communication. But have you ever worn orange? Relationships, you're like, oh my gosh, I really need to work on my relationships. Start wearing the orange, because that's going to bring that vibration into your field. And that's going to be where you'll manifest whatever that information is for those colors. And I work with 12 energies. Yeah.
I love it. I love knowing about it. Thank you for being here and sharing this information with us today. You're giving me this idea. Next time I have a meeting, I think I'm going to make like orange be the color code for what we wear, orange t-shirt. We'll see if everybody shows up with an orange t-shirt, how that goes. Thank you, TLC. Brandon, tell us about your amazing chapter.
Well, I have chapter 22, and it is a reflection on your gifts. And it helps, it's really kind of a tale about how you walk through life and you start to think that you might not be worthy, or you don't really think that you're not necessarily a superstar, or you're not necessarily applying all of your gifts, and you think that it's maybe a burden or what have you. And it's a nice, tight kind of day in the life for me, because my mission is always to kind of help people on their path. And, I do things like, hey, pay attention to your diet. Hey, pay attention to all the colors in the crayon box, if you will. Make sure that you're really kind of using everything that you've got there. And the story is really kind of, like I said, a day in the life where I bring it through, where I'm using a lot of the tools that I have, all the crayons in my box, to be able to kind of bring somebody to where they need to be. Because one of the things about, being a light worker, you have to meet people where they're at. And the biggest thing that I think that I find in being, a life coach and a, medium and all this other stuff is that I watch people try and outsource their healing. And what I mean by that is, and like, hey, if I come to you, tell me what to wear, tell me what to eat, tell me what to whatever. And they don't necessarily empower themselves. So they make great decisions when they're sitting in front of you. And then as soon as they walk away, it's another day. To be able to build tools that people can utilize after you walk away from the situation is really important, I think, as a light worker. I think it's very important as someone in that high vibrational piece to it, and to bring in the aspects of astrology that I bring into the chapter. We're barreling towards the age of Aquarius. Like it or not, change is here, right? We're moving towards something that we really need to start to recognize. And the hallmarks of the age of Aquarius are consistent with self-realization. It's also about self-discipline. It's about self motivation. It's about recognizing that we have to kind of hold our own selves accountable. It's no longer necessarily like this. So we're in this golden age of coaching, and this, a book like this is perfect because we're really telling the stories. These stories teach people kind of, okay, here you go. And each one of the authors tend to be a facilitator for a piece that they may need. And when they resonate with you, that's the part that I've got to hone in on that. I've got to really focus in on whether it's eating or whether it's recognizing or whether it's, self-speak. I mean, if you were going to summarize what my chapter's about, it's really how we perceive ourselves and our place in the world. So it was fun to write.
I'm going to rewind to what you said about self-speak. So if there's a listener right now and they need the easy first stepping stone, how do you get them into the awareness they need, first of all, to know what they're doing to themselves with that probably negative self-speak?
Yeah. Well, there's the shortcut and then there's a long cut, right? The shortcut is, let's get you through today. The shortcut is, it ain't all bad, right? The shortcut is, hey, whatever that is, you can get through this today. See, you did something great for somebody else. You've had an accomplishment. You've held the door open for somebody. Keep it simple, right? The long cut in this is much more of, well, not everything that they told you was true, or maybe they were working out their stuff on you. This is a big giant human theater, right? This is Earth School. We're supposed to learn as we go. And then when you realize that the key people in your life, like your parents or teachers or spouses or whatever, might have been working out some challenges on you because you were kind of the centerpiece and the focal part of it. In mediumship, when I connect with people that have passed on, it's not about apologies, it's about perspective. And once you have perspective, then you can begin to say, okay, this wasn't all me. Now I can either cope, manage, deal, and then also realize that, okay, I'm worth more than this, or I value myself differently from this. I'm not defined by that relationship that fell very short in fulfilling where I was supposed to go. And the high vibration really comes out of joy and connecting with that creative energy and connecting with that realization. You have to be creative to get through the healing dynamics that you need to do for yourself. You have to be creative. And by definition, creative is bringing in things that aren't your norm. So there's the short term and the long term. I hope I answered that. I hope I didn't go too long. Do we have enough time?
You know what? We never have enough time for these juicy topics. No, I love the answer, and especially the insight about, hey, the people around you, take that with a grain of salt a little bit, like understand the
Sure.
what did you call it that we're in the play, the
the human, listen, I think it was Charlie Chaplin that said, up close we look like a tragedy, back far we look like a comedy. So it's really about how do you want to perceive yourself. If you listen, up close, when somebody says, hey, you're a great, you're a great cook, Hannah and Carrie, you really helped me realize the food that I was eating was great, and TLC, which by the way, best name ever on a podcast, just to let you know. You're like, okay, what am I going to wear? How am I going to change my mindset? You guys are like, wow, I'm really helping somebody. Meanwhile, that you just burned toast this morning. Of all of your other little imperfections, that you couldn't find your shoe. By the way, when a medium loses its car keys, just to let you know, I've done this before. When I lose my car keys, I rethink my entire career path, just to let you know, right? But it's a very human thing, right? So we know the difference, and then we get hung up on losing the car. It's like, oh, can you help me connect with my loved one, or my cat's gone missing, or whatever. And then if I get hung up on the fact that I couldn't find my car keys this morning, we're all toast, and not just your toast this morning. Anyways, but you understand the point.
Definitely. Thank you, Brandon. Thanks for being in the project and for sharing today. A huge thanks goes out to all four of you because, you know, you're master teachers and you're working with people every day. And that is amazing. But it's the challenge I gave you is quite another thing to put it in black and white in a book in a way that somebody could have a practical experience with your magic, right? Your awesome practices and tools that you're giving. So I'm excited about this book, you guys. You're going to find something. You're going to find a story or probably multiple and some tools that will resonate, that could make a shift, that could change your life. That's big potato stuff to me. So thank you all four of you for doing that so brilliantly. Carrie, I'm coming to you. When you're having a bad day, how do you stay high vibe?
Oh gosh. I let go of control and expectation, and that's not my job necessarily to steer the boat. And I'll just take a moment, say some gratitudes because that always helps readjust, be grateful for what is, and then just ask the universe, what do I need to know today? Well, who do I need to be today? Do I need to even do anything? I find that when I start being instead of doing, things do tend to start to fall into place a little better and I get back into alignment.
I like the surrender idea.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you for kicking that off in such a great way. All right, TLC, what do you do on a bad day to stay high vibe?
I I'll kind of see what my day is like and because I use my colors so much, I'll start visualizing and meditating and becoming more still. And like I said, it's about surrender. And I allow the situation to happen. And allow is magenta, that's a soul star, and pink is receiving. So you really have to just be and realize there's no control. Just be still. Just pick up your coffee cup, enjoy the moment. But always in the moment is where the presence is and the gift of life is. So when you're not feeling the moment, you're out of alignment and you're into some distraction or clutter. So you just bring yourself back to that moment and be. So it's surrender for sure. And then you'll feel the alignment, and that's the point of creativity. And this is what I always ask is show me what I'm not seeing. So what I do is I'll say, show me what I'm not seeing. And the universe will always show me something that will give me to move forward. So that's my mantra usually, show me what I'm not seeing.
I love it. These are powerful nuggets of awareness you all are dropping today. Brandon, what's yours? You may be having a bad day. What do you do?
Well, I look at a bad day as you try and open a door and then it doesn't open. And once upon a time, the corporate me 20 years ago would have kicked the door down and said, "Here's my door." And then now you try the door and then you go, "Oh, this isn't my door." So you try another door. Like, it's that simple. You don't get hung up on defeat. You don't get hung up on it. I cannot tell you how many ideas I've had that came to fruition 2, 3, 10 years later because it just wasn't the right time. It's part and parcel to be able to do something else. And then other great things came out of it. Oh, I wrote a chapter here. I wrote a book here. I wrote a song here. I ended up doing some, getting connected with somebody in a different way or finding other people to work with. It's to me, it's if you get stagnant, that's what keeps it a bad day. There's no such thing as really a bad day. You have bad moments, but when you remember the difference between happiness and joy is the idea that happiness will bring you gratification in the moment. Joy brings your soul to a place where you know that it's full of purpose. Sometimes when you're having a bad day, there's joy in that because you're like, thank goodness I don't have to do this. Thank goodness I can go in a different direction. And then you're like, but I'm also not happy. But you're like, yeah, but I figured it out. I don't have to do that thing that wasn't working out. And even though it looks like a bad day on the surface, it's actually the best day because your soul's like, oh, now we're getting it. Now we can go somewhere else.
I love it. I love the awareness in that, the discernment between the two.
Mm.
Hannah, how about you? So,
I
and I agree. There, you know, bad and good is your judgment on your what's happening. So, and I think you all practice that kind of awareness. But if it turns, what do you do?
Yeah, I love everyone's responses. I love the reminder to surrender. Sometimes I forget that and try to push the door open. Me personally, I find that what's really helpful for me is not to necessarily sit still. If I do that, sometimes I'll get in my mind and I'll go on a hamster wheel. And so I like to actually physically shift my energy. And so what that looks like for me, obviously, I like to cook. That physically and energetically shifts my energy. But I also love to go for a really long run and do a hot yoga class. That's like my recipe for success. And then I find that like, because when I have a bad day, a lot of times it's my mind fabricating said bad day. And so when I shift that energy physically, I come back to myself.
I love that. That would probably be my avenue as well. And it's the feeling that we're making mean something in our head. And so that's my answer is like, I have to recognize that I'm making that nonsense up from a feeling I'm feeling. I can shift that. And that who knows what an outcome would be. And I like what Brandon said about the difference between happiness and joy, because that takes things to a new level with what is. I know some of you have read Byron Katie's work about this, like what is. All right. So, you know, everything that we're doing around here is sort of sits on this holistic foundation, looking at the journey as holistic. TLC, what is holistic to you? Why does that matter?
Holistic to me is, um, I just, you mentioned Byron Katie. I want to go back to that for a minute because I did 3 of her schools. And it's just an amazing work to really find that it's all love. And so holistic to me is meditation, stillness, um, taking care of your whole body and knowing that it's not about taking a prescription pill or something. It's about knowing who you are and your energy and knowing that you have all the power in the world to have the best health, the best wealth, and the best of anything you want, and you can manifest anything. So holistic is just to take care of your whole self. And a lot of times I use infrared saunas and I jog and I do physical things too, because you just want to treasure this temple that we have, our body. So I think a lot of stuff is in our body. And so becoming holistic, you're really getting to know your body and you're seeing what resonates with you, like for food and different things. So for me, that would be holistic, is just to take care of your whole self.
I love it. I love how you started that one off. Brandon, you're next on this one. What do you want to add about a holistic approach?
Well, I think when you approach something holistically, you try and, it, sometimes you don't have to treat the whole thing. Sometimes you can actually just emphasize, I mean, we do it all the time. I mean, if you're not good at something, you don't bring that out, right? So are you not being holistic or you're not being authentic? I think that it's okay to know that you're part of the whole person. Some of it works well and some of it doesn't. Some things you're good at and some things you're not. I think having a high emotional IQ is how you truly become holistic, because you realize what, listen, Hannah, all due respect, that run and yoga thing sounds great for you. You are not built the same way, kid. I'm just letting you know, right? But people, I mean, even when you look at the cross section of the people that will read a book like this, Hannah, you're going to resonate with them and they're going to be like, I am so in with that, right? I am so in with that run. I'm so in with that. On the other side of that, I'm going to pick up the guitar and play for, 2 hours. And I don't care if I just noodle and nothing comes of it. Being holistic is being able to know when you need to get back into balance, knowing when you need to kind of say, hey, I need a day off, or hey, I need to go, and hike a mountain because I haven't done that in a while. I need to see the peak. I need to see something. Those are all the things that I think make us be holistic, is the balance that we find in it. And the only way we can do that is through our own awareness and emotional IQ.
Yeah, all of you are helping people back in. I'm actually going to ask you guys a question about this in a few minutes. So it's brilliant because you're helping people understand that they hold their own power of those answers, whether it be the guitar or the run,
Truly,
or
truly.
neither, because I suck at music. And like,
Mhm.
like if you can figure it out on your own. Hannah, you happen to be next for this one. So this is so perfect. Tell us what you want to add, because I know, that's quite a big topic, this holistic topic.
I know. I've had like 10 different ideas already of what it means to me. And so let's hear what comes out. So I would say holistic is not black and white. It's not granular, and it's a bit of a zoomed out approach in a way that allows people to find harmony within themselves, find synergy within themselves, and find what works best within themselves. And obviously, I work with food and the energetic body and the physical body. And so for me, I view holistic a lot as the mind, the body, and soul, put very simply, of not just looking at your body, because if someone's, in my experience, if I'm just feeding my physical body for only what my physical body needs, I get sad. I miss like cookies and stuff like that. And so holistic to me is bringing harmony and synergy to all of my parts in a way that gives me the most peace and groundedness.
Give me an Oreo. I'll take one.
And the Oreos, they're so good. Yeah.
All right, Carrie, how about you? It's hard to go last on this one, I know, but I know you have something to add.
It's just funny you talk about the Oreos because I have a reference in my story to Oreos, and I have the Oreos. A holistic approach to me would be knowing an awareness. It's not just the body. You get modern medicine and they want to treat the body. And I found that so much of my healing came from my mind and my intuitiveness in learning to listen to the body. And it is the mind and spirit have to be part of all of that. Um, and finding what works for you in the moment that you need it. If you're having a mental situation, move. If you're having a physical situation, maybe you need to rest. My personal go-to, I love to dance. It makes me move out of my space. I am not a long jogger. I'm kind of with you on the music thing there, Brandon. Um, would love to be, but holistic, just find what works for you. And it won't necessarily always be the same thing every time. And know yourself, really tune in to knowing yourself so that you can nourish yourself in the way that you need it.
I come from being a holistic physical therapist. I branded myself with the term holistic in front of that a long, long time ago. And here's one more way I love to talk about this. And it has to do with our myofascial system, the three-dimensional, literal connective tissue system inside of us. And when we were in school, we would learn about this web. And if you guys think about a pretty spider web for a minute, the pretty kind, the circles, and that nice, big, perfect, newly formed spider web, right? If the fly comes into this top right corner of the web and kind of garbles it all up and makes a knot, then every other strand of the entire system is going to be tugged on. And it could be the far bottom corner that gets the pull. So now when we think of a body being a web, a three-dimensional head to toe connected system, and we go into the doctor's office with a pain in the bottom left ankle, and nobody ever looks at my right neck, I missed the fly. And so looking at a system in a holistic way, the body's physical system, was so important to me in the beginning to help people understand that we're going to the doctors and they're piece parting us. You're a left ankle pain, so let me just do this stuff to your left ankle and we'll help you feel better, right? We're going to miss a big piece of the pie. So I love adding my 2 cents from my PT background in that holistic conversation. Okay, last question for all of you today. Brandon, I'm starting with you. And you actually started to answer this one a little bit earlier. I think that us healers like to consider ourselves more as guides or facilitators. You were saying that earlier.
Sure.
We know that we don't fix people. We help them connect to their own inner wisdom. And this is so important. What is a message you have today for our listeners to help them connect?
Well, first of all, I think you're closer than what you think. I think a lot of people think that they're so far away that they just think it's this big giant uphill battle. And when you take it in increments, when you take it in bite sizes instead of trying to eat the entire pizza at once or whatever, or the entire Oreo at once. The thing I think that most people need to keep in mind is that we really kind of have a divine sense of timing. We have a divine sense of things. I mean, at one time I weighed over 440 pounds, and I realized that it prohibited me from doing the work that I was meant to do, because I was so bogged down with that. And it wasn't about losing the weight. It was about changing how I looked at things, how my lifestyle was, and it was the small things became the big things. So pay attention to the small things because they become the big things. That would be where I would leave that.
Love it. Thank you. That's a powerful one.
Right.
Hannah, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, similarly, I very much identify as a guide and like to guide people back to following what is true for them, especially in the kitchen. And the advice I'd have is make yourself radically right, because every action that you're taking, every food that you're eating is governed by either a desire from your mind or from your body or from your soul. And that is radically right. And it's a lot more true and authentic for you to follow the blueprint from within you than finding it on Google, because everyone is so different. And so it's removing the shame, tuning back into yourself. I obviously give people a basic structure for how to best find that guide within themselves, but it's what's right for you, and trying to white out the noise that from every single other person that'll try to tell you otherwise. So make yourself radically right.
Love that message. Another powerful nugget. Thank you. Carrie, how about you?
I just love that. I'm going to hold on to that one. Radically right. And mine kind of piggybacks off that too. Trust yourself. We have everything we already need inside, but we get this doubt that gets placed in there from growing up, like, the not enough, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough. Delete that. Start over, talk to yourself right, and just know, some people call it gut instinct, mother's intuition. You have the answers. Quit making yourself wrong. Go with it. I found that I removed a lot of indecisiveness by asking whatever thought came first, go with it. Whatever it was. Don't question it, don't doubt it. And the more you do that, the more you'll continue to do that. The confidence builds, the energy builds, the vibration comes into alignment, and you get a peace that starts to happen. And it's just a really great place to be.
I love that practical
Beautiful.
nugget. The times
That's beautiful.
I've not listened to the first thing, doubting, coming back to the first thing. Like, darn it, I should have done that right away, like first thing. All right, you guys, we're going to finish with a little TLC. Why not? Tell us that message you have for people to connect.
Right. I just love Carrie. Oh my God. Everything she said was my story. So I think it's about trusting that you're the point of presence, that the power is within you and everything you need is inside of you. So if you can feel that point of presence in your soul, I think as healers, our guides, we're holding the presence for the universe and for the people to transform. And so what that means is, like, if you are with somebody that's getting triggered, or if you're getting triggered yourself, if you can go deep enough to hold that presence and allow that energy to come up, because all this energy is just getting stuck inside of us and it needs to be expressed, not suppressed. So if you are triggered, it's all good because you're getting it out of your system, out of your field. And don't judge it. It's like no judgment. Judgment is our biggest distraction. Yeah, just don't judge yourself ever. And if there's a piece of you you're judging, that's a piece you need to hold into that presence and send that presence to that piece until you can love that piece and you find, you feel like you just bring it back home and love it. So it's about loving yourself too. Love every piece of you, good or bad. It's all there to serve us.
I love the piece about the triggers. I was joking with a group before you. I said, you guys have heard that company, Drink More Water. You've seen that company out there selling their water. I think it should say drink more water and scream into a pillow once in a while. Like just move the energy, like express, right? Like it's okay if you're feeling triggered today. To all of you today, authors, thank you so much. Thank you for what you do in the world. And thank you for being here today, everyone. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was awesome.
Take care,
So
everyone.
maybe you guys can understand that this is way more than a book. This is a generous community of experts who are waiting for you to ask a question, reach out and get the support that you need. So if you heard anything today, anything we were talking about, it's giving you the goosebumps, you're resonating, drop down into the show notes underneath the video. I have everybody hooked up with their websites and links. You can connect with them and you can ask them about something they said today, carry on the conversation, see all the amazing things that they're up to, you guys. It's a lot. It's awesome. You're also all invited to our book launch party. We're going to have it on Zoom, July 18th. I've got all the high vibrational wellness authors that day partying. So come and join us. I have information down below about that. And if you happen to be listening to this interview anytime after that date, just hop over to Amazon because that means the book is ready. High vibrational wellness. Grab your copy when you can. Lastly, today, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.